What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. I'm reading one of the sites here and my head is just spinning because Magic Johnson, speaks about the trade with Patrick Beverley. And Magic Johnson is a Lakers legend. He's just a legend in general, of course. And of course, he's one of those type guys where when he says something, a lot of people listen. But on this one, I'm not listening so much because I just don't believe what he says to be true. But at the same time, you never know what can happen or how the season pans out. So you got to be optimistic a little bit. But at the same time, I'm just not a believer. He says, I was reading one of the websites. You could read Bleacher Report, The Spun. There's a few other ones I was looking at too that was basically mimicking the same thing. But Magic Johnson's words were he hated Patrick Beverley on the Clippers, but now he loves him because he's on the Lakers and he's gonna help with the defense, and he's gonna help the Lakers make the playoffs. Now, Magic Johnson, we know he's an elder statesman. We know he's out of his damn mind sometime on some of the things he says. But for the most part, a lot of times he spoke on things and he was right about some things he said too. So we got to give him, the benefit of the doubt somewhat. But on this case, I just can't give it to him because I don't believe it to be true. I believe Patrick Beverley is going to give them an edge, give them a little fierceness, a little fearlessness, and he's going to play a little bit of defense as well. But I don't think he's going to make that much of a difference for the Lakers. I believe only way he could really make a huge difference for the Lakers is if they utilize him in a package deal to ship off at the end of this upcoming season, after this season is over with, along with Russell Westbrook, and see if they can find a way to get Kyrie Irving or with maybe adding somebody else, some more picks, possibly get Kevin Durant, since that was the whole rift this offseason. Because I think that's the only way that they're really going to see much value out of, Patrick Beverley. Patrick Beverley is a decent player. He can knock down a three here and there. He does play defense here and there. He is very irritant. He can get under people's skin. I definitely give you that. But at the same time, he's not like an all-world defender. He's not somebody that you would look at and say, they're the best defender in the league or something like that, or one of the best defenders in the league. That's not who Patrick Beverley is. Patrick Beverley is a good player, but he's not a player on that level. You see what I'm saying? To play into that type of level to where his defense is going to, put a team over the hump. And like I said, he adds a defensive, prowess a little bit to the Lakers. But it's not like he's the best defensive player in the world or something like that. He's not like a Marcus Smart defensively or somebody like that. So, it's levels to it. And this is my point. Like, they can utilize him to get somebody else. They can utilize him in a package deal. And like I said, at this point, I think Patrick Beverley's more so going to be a journeyman than anything. He's 34 years old, and you trade for him. You trade Taylor Horton Tucker for him, and he's 21 years old. So if you ask me, I just think that, Utah really won the bet, or should I say they won the deal, if you want to call it like that, because they got, a 21-year-old who can be a future star for them possibly, who's going to have more of the green light with the ball in their hand, which is THT, and the Lakers got an old Patrick Beverley who doesn't play defense as good as he once did. And even back then, he was never known as a great defender. And, when you look at that, it kind of bothers you because you wonder, like, what can the Lakers get out of a 34-year-old guy who really doesn't have much left defensively, and he just has a bunch of antics and running around and does a lot of talking? Honestly, that's not going to help a team win a championship. Like I said, he could be a part of a team that win a championship, but that's based upon, what other pieces they have and how good they're built in other ways. You see what I'm saying? So if they're built good in other ways and every other piece is, very good and great players and all that stuff around it, and he's just a piece of it, then yeah, I mean, maybe so, of course. But, I think, like I said, he's going to add some toughness to the Lakers. But at the same time, you got to ask yourself, can he cope or, deal with Russell Westbrook? And Russell Westbrook, can he deal with Patrick Beverley? I mean, these are questions that have to be answered. And like I said, now you have to ask yourself, does Russ want to be there even more so playing with this guy? Because this guy, gave him a knee injury that he never really fully mentally got over. You know what I'm saying? And him and Patrick Beverley have had words for years, and there's never a mutual anything between them two. So now you might have another player in the locker room even more disgruntled just because of who you added to the team that they might not like. And that could be another chemistry fail type issue that the Lakers have. So, I mean, this situation here, it can really go left really easily. And like I said, nobody's speaking on it. Nobody's really talking about it or anything like that. But I think they should, because, this is a situation where, it might not go so well for Patrick Beverley. Not like people may think. So I'm anticipating to see how they gel on the court. Or can they play with one another? Can they be on the same locker room without any rifts or any type of conflicts going on? And at this point, like I said, it's just a wonder. You just got to hope if you're, Darvin Ham, you can keep everybody in line, keep everybody on the same page, and really build this thing from the ground up. And that's the crazy thing about the Lakers. They're trying to build this thing from the ground up and add all these new pieces, but nobody's talking about their most important new acquisition, which is their head coach, could be a liability as well, because he's never coached a team before. He's been a coordinator for a team, basically, almost like in football. He was an assistant coach, on the Milwaukee Bucks, but being a head coach is two different things. It's like what I just said, offensive coordinator and a head coach in football. Yeah, offensive coordinator is good, but being the actual head coach of a team is just a different level. It's a level up. It's not a level down. So it's like you have to learn to adapt and adjust to your players and get the best out of them and know how to deal with all the alphas and the attitudes in the locker room, along with keeping yours, mellowed out or, even killed, so you can be, the person you need to be and the leader you need to be amongst men. And like I said, I think Darvin Ham can be that, but remember, he's still this still be his first year, as a head coach. A lot of people aren't talking about that, but that's very important to know, because like I said, that's very important to look at too, because he's going to make a lot of mistakes, throughout this season and stuff like that with certain things, because he just doesn't know. Like I said, the starting lineups and stuff like that, he's going to try to put together and things like that. I think he's going to make mistakes, but that's okay. It's okay. It's a part of making a mistake when you're, green at something, when you're new at it, when you really don't have that much experience. So, I mean, hopefully his mistakes don't cost the Lakers a few games here and there that can decide or could be the determining factor whether they make the play-in or playoffs or something like that. But, a lot of people need to look at that as well. But we'll see what happens with Russell Westbrook and, Patrick Beverley, and see how the whole Patrick Beverley thing pans out. And we'll see what other moves the Lakers might make in the offseason. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check out my other videos if you haven't. And hey, Khaliis out.